The retail potential and talent galore explored in a new platform. News by Suman Munshi. Kolkata, 28th April 2023. Retail market in India has been sustainably growing for years, the reason being the unorganized sector moving towards being organized to a great extent. The focus of Indian consumers is rapidly shifting towards buying right, and inclination towards healthy lifestyle is also contributing to the growth of retail sector. The retail market of Eastern India is a diverse and growing sector. The region encompasses the states of West Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, and the 7 northeastern states. The retail market in this region is driven by a large population base, rising consumer income, and increasing urbanization. The retail market in Eastern India is dominated by traditional brick-and-mortar stores, including small independent shops and large department stores. However, there has been a significant shift towards modern retail formats such as malls, hypermarkets, and supermarkets. This shift has been driven by changing consumer preferences and increasing competition. The food and grocery sector is the largest segment of the retail market in Eastern India, accounting for over 60% of the total retail sales. Other major segments include apparel and accessories, electronics and appliances, and personal care products. One of the unique features of the retail market in Eastern India is the presence of street markets and bazaars. These markets offer a wide range of goods at affordable prices and are popular among the local population. The retail market in Eastern India faces a few challenges such as inadequate infrastructure, limited supply chain capabilities, and regulatory hurdles. However, the market is expected to grow at a healthy rate in the coming years, driven by rising consumer demand, government initiatives, and the increasing adoption of digital technologies. The retail market in Eastern India is a significant contributor to the overall retail market in India. According to a report by Technopack, the size of the organized retail market in Eastern India was estimated to be around $15 billion in 2019. The report also projected that the market would grow at a compound annual growth rate (CAGR) of around 20% between 2019 and 2024. However, it is important to note that the majority of the retail market in Eastern India is still unorganized, and a significant portion of the retail transactions take place through traditional formats such as mom-and-pop stores, street markets, and bazaars. The size of the unorganized retail market is difficult to estimate, but it is believed to be several times larger than the organized retail market. Overall, the retail market in Eastern India is expected to continue to grow rapidly in the coming years, driven by increasing consumer demand, rising income levels, and the adoption of digital technologies. So, as Kolkata is not far behind to this trend. Kolkata is the most happening city, an entrance of East and North-East India, with many retail stories of achievements to encourage and motivate others. The retail environment is dynamic today as it has ever been, and a healthy growth has been noticed in obtaining or purchasing goods or services. On this positive note, senior retail expert Ms. Piani Roy Oberoi envisioned a common platform for retail players. There was an open forum highlighting high growth potential and vast market size along with talent galore of East India's retail market witnessed the unveiling of East India Retail. Common news portal specially crafted for the retail industry of Eastern India in presence of noted retail establishments of our country like Mr. Karan Goenkaku, City Style RG's Fashion PVT Ltd, Mr. Murli Krishnan co-founder and CMO Wow Momo Foods, Mr. Man Mohan Bagri Vice President South City Ltd, Mr. Ranodeep Saha co-founder Rare Planet, Ms. Sara Sethia Director Success Menswear, Mr. Rajiv Mukherjee Vice President and Territory Head Max Fashion India, Mr. Abhijit Das Senior Director East India Knight Frank, Ms. Piani Roy Oberoi and other dignitaries. While addressing the media, Ms. Piali Roy Oberoi, 22 years experienced in this industry, stated the portal provides comprehensive commentary on the East India retail ecosystem by highlighting the success stories, thought leaders, and recent trends. It also provides a business networking hub which enables the upcoming players with consulting and implementation of services. Let's look forward with an optimistic note on East India Retail. An interesting platform which aims to bring collaborative growth for the retail ecosystem through knowledge sharing, expert-led panels, and workshops.
Information about all the retail happenings around Eastern India. Retail Alliance and EIR Business Network will help you in strategic partnerships. In our team, we gathered through specialists and professionals who know how to give impact on its future developments. Collaboration with us will offer you digital solutions, retail events, data services, workshops and training and many more. I hope our event creates a unique platform for knowledge sessions, collaborations. Let's join hands to make this India more relevant and powerful and achieve many more levels to success. I request Shirley to just browse through the website we have built up.
Thank you so much, Anirban. With 22 years of experience in the corporate industry, I have understood one thing, that without relevant data and without relevant metrics, you actually cannot make the facts stand tall. Because that's what we have been doing in the corporate so far. And thank you so much for enriching us with so much of data insights and actually making East relevant again. So now moving on to our next session, we will start a discussion, the panel-based discussion. The first one, underestimated East, high growth potential, vast market size, and talent galore. We have our moderator, Mr. Abhijit Das, Senior Director, East India Knight Frank. And our enlightened panel of speakers are Mr. Ranadip Shah, co-founder of Rare Planet, Mr. Ashish Oberoi, VP and Zonal Business Head East at Pantaloons, Mr. Rajiv Mukherjee, VP and Territory Head at Max Fashion India, and we have Mr. Sanjeev Mehra, VP Quest Properties India Limited. A big round of
think of and what is it that can be executed well, okay, which will make India relevant again. One example obviously is what Piali has done. She's created a platform, she's on digital, she's trying to make it viral, and so the next step is that national people are taking note of what Piali has done, and hence East India is becoming relevant. Right? This is one of the things that we can do more of. So I'll start with maybe Sanjeev, if you can come up with. I intentionally started with you because I thought that you must not have thought of it, so it has to be candid.
Hello. I think first of all, East India has always been relevant. Why should we play ourselves down? It's just like India has always been relevant. We decide that we are not strong enough, not rich enough, and we've been playing ourselves down. This is a very Nehruvian mindset. So I don't buy into that. I think we are some of the most highly educated people. All across the country, we are highly aspirational. The person sitting in Kashmir or Kanyakumari is as aspirational as the person in Bombay, Delhi or Calcutta. So firstly, I don't buy that. I've been out of this country when I was 20 years old. I held my own. So I was not exposed to the US or the UK market before 20 years of age. So I think our education is strong enough, our English is fantastic, our aspirations are very high. The whole idea that the government didn't support free enterprise, and now since Dr. Manmohan Singh opened this country, he's let everyone's aspirations fly. East, when I come specifically to it, again, it's the same concept. I don't think so. I mean, I've said it at a lot of conferences when we talk to people on all the brands, they think we are, I'm not playing Bangladesh down, but they don't believe that we are part of India. We are somewhere sitting in Bangladesh. And I say, listen, I've been to Bangladesh and I've got very great friends there, and they are playing catch up as well. So somehow, the east of the country, with having a lot of money, let me tell you, I'm sitting on data which y'all have no idea of, because at Quest, I've been there for now. We are going to our first churn. It's unbelievable the amount of money that is spent. A lot of people will fall off the chair if they come to know how much money is spent. So it's not that it's not had its time. I always believe that the brands who come to the country, and I'll tell you specifically because it's connected to a whole lot of other things. It's not, retail is just only the last end of it. But you have to make the environment conducive for people to come and spend their money. If Europe is going down the tubes, America is, in a lot of trouble, China, things are not happening, Russia is at war, 1.4 billion people who are consuming. And like there's never been before. Brands are making a beeline. But problem happens is when these people come and go through consultants, I think CBREs, y'all, they always, and you will again be very clear that they start the route from Delhi, Mumbai and the rest. Calcutta, okay, dekha jayega ki have na have, dekhe have. So, no, I mean, you people are the cause of it. No, and to think of it, pantaloons started in Calcutta. So, organized retail, am I right? Huh? Galiya Hat, pantaloon. Otherwise, organized retail was not there. So, how are we? We are the only people. I single-handedly have to fight for Calcutta because I love the city. I'm born and brought up here. Ma, Mati, Manush, whatever is said.
Right.
But in the end of the day, the best people are here. So I think there's a lot of...
Sanjeev, I like the attitude because the more we say that, oh my God.
I think that's the only thing we have is,
right.
Bengalis have attitude.
Right. But the question is that we also have to be pragmatic. Okay, like when Tim Cook comes to the country, and then he says that my first store will be in Bombay and the second store will be in Delhi. The relevance is when Tim Cook comes and says that my first or the third store will not be in Bangalore, it will be in Calcutta. Alright, so
First of all, the whole Apple team had asked for a store in Calcutta at Quest. I'm sorry, we didn't have the space. So, how are they going to play it? Shall I come out in the media and say, no, I don't want to say these things. There are a lot of stories within stories which no one is aware of.
So we should make people aware that Apple was looking for a store in Calcutta.
Not only was, is and will open.
Will open, right?
Please understand that Apple. So first of all, which is the number one brand in the world?
Teach me.
Apple. Which is the most profitable brand in the world? Apple. I don't think we are going to eat oranges and talk with oranges. So we are going to have. It's just that they believe that they need a launch pad. Now, please understand, Dior has just had this event in Mumbai. Why didn't they have it in Calcutta? No, because the show, the glitz, the glamour, the industry. I'm sorry, the Tollywood industry is probably number 2 or number 3. I don't know. But in the end of the day, if you look at it, marquee, it's going to be Mumbai. It's the fashion, right? So don't get bogged down or play yourselves down that you are number 3, number 5. It don't matter. Make your city conducive for investment, conducive for entertainment, conducive for consumption. And the key word is consumption. America is not the greatest country in the world. It's the greatest country in the world because it's got propensity to waste. That means propensity to waste is a very important part because it's led by consumption. So you do not have the capacity to consume until you don't make the environment ready for that. But listen, let's be very clear. We have much better lives than our parents and our grandparents did. And our children are going to have much better lives. They're consuming more, I don't know how many shirts your father bought. You are buying 5 times more and your children are spending 10 times more. So there is a progression of how people enter this country, etc.
So fair point, Sanjeev. So one takeaway which I can take from what you said is that in social media, instead of writing there, let's make ourselves relevant, the attitude should be we are relevant, right? So hence, instead of putting us down in social media wherever we talk, the one thing is that we have to maintain that we are not, even though being pragmatic, that might not be the best thing to do, but still. Coming to you, Rajiv.
Realistic.
Yeah. Coming to you, Rajiv. I mean, if you have a point of view which is different from what Sanjeev said.
No, before that, I would like to say one thing very, very clearly. See, we are saying that what is ailing East. East is not ailed. So, if you talk about retail, say suppose the fashion industry from where I come. So, the way we see it is that there is a like-for-like growth, which is the same store growth, and there is an overall growth. Okay. So now the overall growth East might be lacking, but like-for-like growth, at least I can talk about Max, and I'm sure about other companies also. I see their figures also. Last year, when entire country was on negative, East was the only region which was positive. So that shows the potential of East. First. Secondly, as rightly said by him, retail is about consumption. Okay, and consumption in India is a very a very important factor. Festivals. A consumption in India is driven by festival, and believe me, East has got one festival every month. So you get a spike during a Poila Boishakh in April, and Bihu, and a Rojo in June, a Pujo in September, October, a Diwali in November. So what I'm trying to say is that if you talk about potential, sales potential, it is very, very large. So now the question is why has East not grown as much, or the penetration of the brands has not been as much in East till now?
No, I'll just educate myself. I don't think we have not grown as much. I think the base is smaller, is what we are all talking about, right?
Yeah, the base is small because we are not
grown. To revenue, maybe Bangalore, Bombay, I do not educate me. If it's say $1,000 in East or in Calcutta or in the other cities of East, is it less than 1,000, more than 1,000, equal to 1,000?
It is not about that. It is not about that.
Actually, if I can ask about Pantaloons, highest is
in East.
It is not about that. So as I told you, the stores which are already open, they do the best in India. But the rate of new stores coming up in East is less. So why is that? I'll come to that now. So what is the problem? The problem is the ecosystem. The problem starts from the quality of retail spaces available. The developers who are not educated to understand. I can give an example of GS Road. If you go through GS Road, okay, you will see that there are a lot of standalone buildings where the ground floor there is some brand in the ground floor. First, second, third floor is empty. Because the retailer has asked for a huge price, and the price same for all the floors. So somebody took the ground floor, but the developer did not understand. The developer did not understand that in order to give the entire building, lease out the entire building, you have to do a average price. Then only you will get a big format, a big play retailer like Max or Pantaloons. Secondly, if you see the way they are made, you see the stature of building anywhere in India, and I have seen now good stature buildings coming up in tier 2, tier 3 also. But the quality of building, the frontage, the height, below beam, etc., they are not conducive for a big ticket retailer. A big format retailer would like to have a minimum height below the beam. They would like to have a minimum frontage. They would like to have a kind of a pillarless form. So these education needs to be given, and the best people. So the developers of today, they are getting educated. They are learning. The young generation who have come, they are making more and more boxes where we can go. Okay, but what happens now? Here the IPC has to also play a very, very big role in educating them to teach them how to make a big format retailer a plate which is suitable for a big format retailer. Next, what happens also? the price, the cost. The cost of retail, the cost of business is not the cost of business, only the occupancy cost is very, very high in East. Two reasons. One is because of availability, less available. Okay, so the price is high. Secondly, also because the developers don't know how much to charge. So they try to quote the same price, okay, to a anchor, what they would quote to a vanilla. I'm talking about, even standalones. So these things, so I think the entire ecosystem has to develop. And it is, I can see that it is developing. Now there are a lot of tier 2 markets in East, Bhubaneswar, Guwahati, and all the seven sisters, all the capitals. I think good quality retail is happening there. And I'm sure that going forward, I can see a lot of brands now coming inside East. A lot of new entrants have come, and they're opening good stores. We are also they're venturing into tier 2, also tier 3 selective ones, and we are opening our stores. We are opening proper good stores, and I see a good potential there, big potential.
Okay, so I'll come back. While you're talking,
Yeah.
I have something in mind which I want to
Sure,
discuss and ask
sure.
you. Ashish, if you have a view which is different.
Just to interrupt, we have Mr. Ranadip Shah, co-founder of Rare Planet. He has travelled all the way from Delhi. That's why we have to give him the privilege of time. Thank you.
I don't disagree. I think I'm in alignment with that. See, I have worked at 2 different geographies. What I feel, I think potentially the immense is when India was stuck with COVID and the world was stuck with COVID, and when all small town guys who went to Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi came back to East, normally they had gone for working there. East showed the highest amount of growth during COVID times. And whenever the market got opened, people in East, and people thought that the new India is now in East. Because what happened was, a lot of labor migration, white collar migration happened from East to other parts of the country, and these people are really they really spend money. And what has happened is, they have shown the world, maybe in India, that East also is a focus. And I will tell you, last 2-3 years, many companies, many large formats have actually become more aggressive in East than any other part of the country, because they have been, as rightly said, it was more of a perception. And East was going through a geopolitical situation. We have more states, but Northeast states, if you should talk about it, had insurgencies, violence. It was not a very conducive for doing business. Not a proper real estate is available. Malls, I think developers, I will blame largely developers, because they have not been able to get more malls in this part of the country. Calcutta is among the top population-wise, and it has only 6% mall space versus all India. So why can't? So we have to educate people, we have to drive consumption, we have to bring quality retail, quality malls, and which is what West has been driving with. And in the western part of the country, you will not believe 80% of the business of larger brands or good brands are only 2 malls. East is 80% is high street driven. And as you understand, with more vehicles coming up, parking is a big mess, people are really worried. And that's the reason why people beeline during the weekends on the mall, because they don't venture out high street. So if we create an environment for consumers to shop, I don't feel East is lagging behind. As I told Farah, we started here. Bangalore still contributes East as the largest portion in terms of the share of the business. Highest productivity comes from here. We have one of the largest stores here.
No, and also just good data. I mean, largest portion of what? I mean, East
contributes highest amount of business share in all India.
Wow. I mean, and we are not. We don't highlight this fact. People do not know.
But we are anyway listed, so our data is public.
Yeah.
So you don't say it, but people can see.
See, I did not know. I did not know. So I did not know. I'm sure a lot of people do not know. I mean, we should. So one of the takeaway from here is we should highlight these kind of things which we get to know.
You have to grow your own market.
Yeah, sure. All right. So we have Ranadip now. Now with Ranadip, I don't want to talk about retail, because with Ranadip we should talk about entrepreneurship. Now I've been following this guy. He's a young guy. How old are you? 32.
26.
So young guy, just got out of college, and he did not take up a job. And I remember he had sent me WhatsApp, right? Why? Because I have been an entrepreneur to cash. So he wrote to me, I'm trying to do this, why don't you introduce me to investors? He whatever he was looking for. From there on, he's moved on and he's got funding from, then he Sagar put him on to Sanjeev and then Sanjeev with Chintan. And then he's got second round or first round?
We have placed 3 rounds.
Three rounds of funding. And how many outlets?
So we have like 39 airports with us.
39 airport retailing outlets. So, I have seen this guy grow from zero to wherever he is now. And that's like real entrepreneurship from Calcutta. So, Ronaldji, you educate us on entrepreneurship and then retail and then how to make East India more.
So I directly come to this. So my co-founder, I got a co-founder later on in my journey, and he's from South. And when we started our airport expansion, our first store was in Calcutta Airport, obviously. But then we started opening stores in West, as in Goa, Bombay, and other parts. Very lately, we realized why don't we open stores in the eastern part of the country, as in the airports in the east. And today, if we see the best performing airports for us are all in east, whether it is Bhubaneswar. We have 3 stores in Bhubaneswar Airport. Then Imphal, Agartala, Guwahati, Kolkata obviously does very well, but across east, all the airports have been performing very, very well. Compared to a Vadodara, Guwahati does much more well. Or for that matter, Bagroda Airport. So if you, in terms of airport retailing, we have huge potential in the east, and more people can come in. It's a wide space, open, very sweet space for retailers to come in. And I've been fortunate enough that I've got great mentors like Sagar. Sagar is also from our city. And
Sagar, incidentally, is one more.
I gave him the first.
Yeah. So he incidentally is a national story originating out of Calcutta. He started with one kiosk, and then now the rest is 3,200 crores latest valuation. Sagar.
Yeah, it's more than 2,000.
He's more than relevant nationally. So I only wish you. Now he's become too large for coming to forums like this. What becomes? So
and that is what East is. And with entrepreneurship, I feel it is a journey which you just get on. I've just tried my best, worked hard for last 8 years. I remember when I texted you, I wanted a connection in T Junction.
Yeah, with I think Ambuja.
Ambuja, yes, and it's been a long journey since then. And
since then, he on his own tracked all these investors and now.
So,
and at 26, right? So at 26, people say that I want to work for HFPC and pay back and all that. He did not even take up a job to start with. So that's more like making East India relevant in the national perspective. So now give us one idea what we should do to make East India more relevant.
I will give you a very nice perspective. When we signed Bangalore has recently got a new airport called T2, which is India's finest airport. So no airport in the country can compete with T2. And while we were assigned the tender for building the store in T2, he said, so our registered office is still in Calcutta, even though we have shifted to Delhi, but everything is still in Calcutta. He said, Calcutta wale company ko mila hai.
But why have you shifted to Delhi? Because the investors. No, I've gone through it. My file did not get okayed by VCs because I was a Calcutta headquartered startup.
No, my headquarters is still Calcutta, but we have a operational office in Delhi. Delhi operations have become very big, but the headquarters is still Calcutta. All the papers, all filings are still from Calcutta. And they said, they made a mockery out of it. They said, Calcutta wale company itna bada space mein liya. And we were the first ones to open the store in that airport. The first retail bill of that entire airport, F&B, retail, everything inclusive was ours. And that day I said, Calcutta ka company nahi hai. How are we less than anyone else? We are, when Big Bazaar came, the first was in Calcutta. When Pantaloons came, the first was in Calcutta. So why to mock Calcutta wale company ko mil gaya? So I feel we should do bigger and better things from this city, like Momo has done, a lot of other, Manyavar has done.
Manyavar has done, one more huge success.
So we are no less than anyone else, and yeah.
Okay, Rajiv, while we were talking, one thing came to my mind. I was in Bhubaneswar yesterday and this month, couple of times in Bhubaneswar. And this is in context to what you said about developers not creating the right kind of real estate for retailers to get. Now, I'm just trying to ask that as retailers, would you be interested into, for example, there are malls in Bhubaneswar which is dead. You know, wrong time, wrong design, wrong product tenant mix, everything going wrong. But then, you know, it's available. Would you, as retailer, write it off, like, you know, that's a dead mall, I don't want to even consider that. Or as retailer, would you want to contribute into reviving that piece of real estate? Because this developer will never ever get into manufacturing something in retail because he's feeding in the first or the second one that he's done. So as retailers, would you get into reviving malls which are dead?
See, as I mentioned, the entire ecosystem has to come up. It is not only the brand. Why the brand? The developer has to come up and agree that they have to understand that initial sales will be low. So they should not expect a rental. They should expect a revenue, which is pure one. Maybe they should start with just electricity. If they have to change their mindset to that, normally what happens, very few developers in East have that mindset.
They don't.
They don't.
But will you
so
take
first,
the first step?
no, so I'm saying that you have to take the first step. You have to, first of all, like Anirban said about Vega City, Siliguri. Okay, Max was the first brand when nobody was touching Vega. We went there, we got a good space, but we also, spoke to the person, Umang Mittal. We told him that if you want to revive this mall, then you have to understand that you have to give us some leeway. You have to ensure that we get, in fact, Pantaloon also went there after us. So we have to give us leeway, you have to give us first or at least 2 years of pure revenue share because we don't know. So that is the kind of thing which they have to. So they will come forward, educated by you. Of course, we will also do our bit. We have done it. There is an example. Vega City, Siliguri is a perfect example. Now it is a thriving mall.
Yeah.
So it was a dead. In fact, the malls we're talking about in Bhubaneswar, Vega was even a more dead mall than that. It had a petrol pump in the front of the mall, right? So the developer has to come up. He has to spend money to revive because this person he spent a lot of money to upgrade the mall facade, look and feel, attract people with a lot of lighting, etc. You have to educate him on the rental structure. Then we will of course will come. We will of course put our fair. Because we are saying that no, we want to come, but the entry barriers are very very high. One of the highest entry barrier is the occupancy cost. Even after COVID, we are grappling with the occupancy cost. Above 12% occupancy cost, a value retailer like us will not survive. But the average occupancy cost in East is 15%. So we have to as an ecosystem, the entire ecosystem, which comprises of us, the brand, you as an IPC, the developer, and the fourth one, which I have to mention, is the people, the workforce. Another thing which I will not say ails East, but actually there is a lot of, like he said, that the Kolkata brand has got such a big cracked such a big deal. There is a lot of negative word of mouth about East. We have to combinedly fight that. We have to combinedly fight that because there is a lot of negative word of mouth in terms of the work culture mainly, about the workforce, about workplace ethics, which is not there anymore. None of them exist.
None of it is true, right?
Absolutely,
But,
none of them
but,
exist.
but none of us are technically doing anything to tell the country that these are not true anymore.
Yes.
Right?
So a success story of a Sagar or maybe some other brand like Manyavar, they are telling it, but it is not enough. We have to tell it more. We need more vocal advocates like him. To shout at the top of the voice and say, boss, okay, we are the best. And in fact, we are. The sun rises in the east.
No, but it's also, there are cuts and groups. First of all, also remember that all the corporate houses before Mr. Jyoti Basu came in was in the east, ITC, Tata. Everyone has been here, and let's not fool ourselves. We got a bad rap for 30 years. 40 years, and we are still carrying that legacy. There's nothing we can do about that legacy. That is blood down the river. When I started working for IFB, it's a Bengali one. It's shows you how hard people work in the country. It's a fallacy that we don't work. I mean, if you go to any of the stores in the malls, it's not true. Everybody is working very hard because, I mean, do remember that South City is clocking about 20, when I was there, it was about 24 million. Nobody in the country does 24 million a year, football. At West, we were doing about 18 million pre-COVID. I mean, for a luxury mall to have 18 million, then no way marble nahi bachta hai. What are they talking about? So, there is no shortage of money, no shortage of spending money. I am coming to another part where we have fallen short. And there is no shortage of what call workforce working hard. It's just, legacy issues we have. There is a part that do remember that the entire Northeast is preferred retailers' first choice for people on the floor. If you ask any retailer who would they like on the floor, they will start with Northeast. They want Northeastern people, they speak English in a better way. They are one of the that is on consumption side, and side on the workforce side. Okay. Now, yeah. So another thing, I have traveled the entire East. When I was in IIP, I actually was to every village. I have actually seen India in different income stratas. The most aspirational people are from the Northeast. Let's be very clear. They dress well, they've got the hip, they've got the hop. So let's not fool ourselves. Issue is with quality spaces that they are telling you. Developers are not the most preferred people in this part of the country because most of us have all got bad raps from developers. They, and it's true, it's a fact. Now, when they came to make shopping malls or preferred shopping destinations, they also didn't know. So let's say in Calcutta it was 4 rupees.
Nobody in the
no.
We all learned, right?
Absolutely. So you've gone,
It's a 15-year-old industry.
And I'm telling you, even at South City when we were there, had they not brought in Shoppers Stop, who said we will not come in here if you go with architects. See, if you go to make a hospital, you don't call a dental surgeon. You will call a person who understands how to make a hospital. And retail is a science, how goods come in. I face this, all of you all know what's been going on for the last 2 weeks. Now, you have to deal with the environment, ecosystems, you have cars coming in, movies finishing at night. It's not simple. There's a science to it. Of course, we didn't know better. You learn, evolve, learn, evolve. But today, if a person is making a space, he doesn't have an excuse. The only excuse he's got is that he wants to shave corners and make a shoddy job of it. And then he'll say, "Arey, ye to dead ho gaya." As far as dead malls are concerned, I think all of us have traveled to Thailand. Bangkok today is on cutting edge retail. It's only 145. So I have been, last year I went there 8 times, every month I was there. Because I also wanted to see what happens when after COVID things open. We had predicted something, we were bang on the number from the day it shut. Everybody said, oh, it'll open and everyone will go gaga. I said, no, it'll be like opening a new mall, it'll go through its own progression of people, and that's exactly the way it happened. So internally we had to do cash flow projections and all, because all of us have to do it. We are living in the real world. Just see the way the government supports retail. Retail is the largest employer in the country. Government in this country supports no retail. You take any government in the country, if they start supporting good retail infrastructure, the right size, etc., you are providing an avenue for 3,000-5,000 people to come and work. Tell me one industry, one factory which employs 3,000, 5,000 people. There are none. So let's not fool ourselves. You're getting taxes from all the goods that are sold. Every mall today, South City, let's say, does about 1,500 odd crores. I am not going to say what we do. And you can take the numbers of people who work, pay the taxes, etc. I mean, one has to realize that there is a combination not only of a retailer, a developer, the government's participation is nil. And the amount of time for licenses we've been screaming for it, it's not an industry.
So as a developer, what do you want from the government?
Oh my God, I'll give you a list that is non-ending. Look at Bangkok. Every mall has to be connected to the tube. It is the only city in the world which has 4 Louis Vuittons on the same road. Please show me one in the world. No. Why? Government believes the way to go is retail, hotel, tourism. Retail, hotel. And you know the funny part is, last year, all the queues outside all the luxury stores were not Chinese, were Thai. And some of us Indians, who ventured to go out. But that's the story of it. Consumption.
So incidentally, whatever data I have of Thailand, we should be proud that in off-season, Thailand is run by Indians.
No, please don't fool yourself.
So I don't, whatever.
Let's not say that. We love to go to Thailand.
In off-season.
Let me tell you something. Thailand has how many kilometers of coastline? You want to tell me about retail? Please see, we have some 1400 kilometers. Yep. They have Hua Hin, Pattaya, all of that. We have one Goa. Are you mental? You are short of 5,000 hotels. With hotels will come entertainment, will come the bars, the go-go bars, whatever you want. People need to consume, need to be spent. Will come the malls. What are you going to do after you? So, I don't want to name the gentleman from the government. He says, I've made this great thing next to the river. It's what called garden baniyechi. So I said, sir, 200 pore ki korbo. Mock khana kothay, entertainment kothay, restaurant kothay, hotel kothay. See, we have to break out this Nehruvian mindset that spending is bad. Spending is very good. Keep spending. That's the only way the country is going to grow.
Fair, Rajiv. So I don't know whether we have any more time, but as we digress a bit out of the topic that
It's all connected, all connected.
From east to far east.
So
That's the future. That should be our target objective.
So the takeaway, the takeaway from having what we can do is we have spoken for half an hour or whatever. I have not tracked my time. We can go there, have tea, and go back home, and then life is back to square one, right? Or we take away something, having spent this half an hour together. What is that one takeaway that we can do effective tomorrow, which will help make East India, relevant again might not be the right word. I agree with you. What will make East India, for the lack of word, relevant again? One thing that we can do from tomorrow.
According to me, I think it's very clear we should not downplay ourselves.
Okay, that's right. I agree.
Nobody's going to come and...
Rajiv?
The entire ecosystem, which is the brand, the IPC, the developer, and the workforce, has to basically evolve. That is what I want.
Okay. Ashish?
We have to market ourselves well. People have to believe into us. Not that believe into us, they should know the reality. Thing is, if you are sitting in Bangalore, people feel East is really far east in that manner, but that's not the reality. And I will tell you, if people come during Pujo time, that 45 days is madness here. People will feel like ants. Consumers are on the street, like ants, and they really spend. We have to create avenues. We have to create carnivals here. We have to market ourselves so well that East really comes out in private time.
From the last word.
We should not downplay. We have downplayed a lot with our image and everything, and it's time we go out, market ourselves, and tell that yes, we are from East and we are doing this.
Alright, so thank you so much on behalf of Piali and East India Retail for taking up time. I'm sure all of us have taken out time to support Piali and for the effort of creating this platform, and she is directly contributing into making East India relevant again. So thank you, Piali, for having this platform, and